To me, I think innovation is not a process, not a product, not a service. It's a mindset. It's about how you wake up every morning and you think to yourself, how can I be different today? What can I do differently? If my business was to shut down today, is the world going to miss me? Is my industry going to miss me? Is the world going to miss me? Am I adding enough value? And am I contributing enough and impacting my customers' lives, my employees' lives, my vendors enough that tomorrow I will be missed? And I think if the answer to that question is yes, and you're making that impact on a daily basis, then I would say that you're in the process of innovation. In the late 90s, when every other laboratory chain was calling themselves Dr. So-and-so, it was run by an individual's name, we said, let's convert it to a corporate name. Let's change it, move away from an individual's name and move it to Metropolis. Why? We did that because we said we're building an institution. We're building an organization which is based on multiple people and not based on an individual. And we said if we're able to do that, customers themselves will not start associating walking into a lab as dealing with a doctor, but actually dealing with an institution which has processes, back-end. You still may give the personalized service, that's fine, but it's not dependent on an individual. And I think that also made a tremendous impact on seeing us as a larger organization versus an individual doctor's practice, even though at that time we were only one lab, right? It was, 10, 12 years ago. After that, we decided in 2002, 2003, we said, look, we've had only one lab. Why can't we be a chain of labs across the country? Why is it so difficult for us to go? And we said, but how are we going to do this? Metropolis is only known in Bombay, which is where it's headquartered, and we're not really known in other parts of the country. So how are we going to go? It's not like a McDonald's. I can just start shop and put up a name and place, customers are going to come. So we said, okay, there are other pathologists like Metropolis, pathology labs, which have been leaders in their own cities. Is there a way that we can create an indigenous pathology lab chain by bringing all these pathologists in the key cities who are leaders in their towns, bring them together under a common umbrella? So we found a model to bring all these pathologists together, all these labs together, and say, Metropolis, now it's a national chain. I think it could be even decisions, which could be just innovative decisions. Sometimes it could be just a process. Or like I said, sometimes it's just a mindset. It's getting up every day and saying, what am I doing different? And now the next thing we want to do different is to say, how do we go into rural India? You have urban infrastructure. Can I use the urban infrastructure in rural India? And the answer is no. I have to figure out what is going to be the model, then how I'm going to entirely change my operations, because if I don't change my operations, my costs remain the same, and I cannot charge the same for the tests in rural India that I can in cities. So I have to think, reverse engineer and say, if I want to charge X in a town, in a village, how do I change my entire back-end process to now fit this and still make a profit?